I'm joined by National President, Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, Dr. Femi Ebeshola. Thank you for being here, Dr. Femi. Let me start by asking, which of the contentious issues by Nigeria's Northern Governors Forum would you say is most alarming?
Well, before now, from our end, that is the business community, the Tax Reform Committee has engaged and again with us. And you can remember that this has been on for almost 1.5 years now when the committee has been inaugurated. So we felt that this engagement has taken a long time and it is time for the bill to see the light of the day. But maybe there are other concerns that the governors want to consider for the benefit of the public. We have to wait and see what really they have in mind. For us, the bill is pro-small business, pro-poor people. It supports small business in a large way. It also supports the poor. And we have seen a lot of change and reforms in this policy, this new tax policy, such that we have endorsed it as business owners. So let's wait and see what the governors have in mind. Perhaps one of the things they may have issues with is the harmonization of the 60 different taxes at the subnationals, that is the states and local government, to 8 taxes. That to us is a big deal, but perhaps this is not good enough for the governors. But let's see, there's no end to consultation, there's no end to stakeholders engagement. Let's see what they have in mind, and let's see where we all can meet at one point.
All right. Could this tax bill suspension actually hinder Nigeria's economic growth? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yes, it may, because there are so many concerns in the past about the recent tax policies that needs a lot of reforms. And I think the chairman and his committee on this tax reform committee has done a lot of work to come with this new tax bill. So if it is not implemented, small businesses in particular will continue to suffer from what we have been suffering from with the old tax policy. We must begin to see need to reform our policy, and we are happy that the president has come up to approve this new policy, and the National Assembly is also considering it. But now that NEC says they still want to reconsider it for further engagement, further sensitization, well, let's see how it goes. But for us, anything that takes us back to the old tax bill is a way of increasing the difficulty of doing business in Nigeria.
Well, with Nigeria aiming to attract more foreign investment, could a suspension of the tax bill kind of like send a mixed signal to international investors about tax consistency and, most importantly, economic policies?
Of course, yes. Quite a number of investors, locally and internationally, are already happy with the new tax bill that is expected to be passed to law. But this hiccup now is going to send the negative signals to everybody, business players in Nigeria, investors locally and internationally. And that's not good for the brand of Nigeria. It's not good for our image. I think the governors in sincerity must come to appreciate this new bill and see how we can make it see the light of the day as soon as possible. The bill is in a way all-inclusive. Time may not permit us to begin to discuss some of the beauties of this new tax bill. But it is all inclusive and it is supporting in a large way small businesses. And for us, we give it our thumbs up. And of course, when there are consultation, everybody has issues. Even in the small business sector, we have some issues with the tax bill. For example, the threshold for exemption is 50 million naira turnover annually. We will have expected it to go up more than that because 50 million naira is about $29,000, and that's a far cry when it comes to business. Also, too, we have some other challenges with some form of the dynamics and metrics of the tax bill. But we also understand that we all cannot have our way all the time. We must have a point to meet. All of us must meet at one point and get this tax to go and see it as a work in progress that we can always review over time, while allowing the economy and particularly the SMEs to be able to thrive and support the poor that are already suffering from the avalanches of economic hardship based on other indices that the policies we have in the country is having on us.
All right. I mean, finally, Mr. Ebeshola, in what ways could delaying the tax bill provide short-term relief, but potentially add to long-term fiscal challenges in managing Nigeria's public debt and economic stability?
The point is that the new tax bill is expected to bring in more funds for government. And when government has more funds, they'll be able to live up to their obligations, both locally and internationally, but also to be responsible to their debts. And that for us is a big deal. We should be able to make sure that government has revenue to perfect their budget, and at the same time ensure that they see to infrastructural deficit and fixing every other thing that needs to be fixed in the economy. All of this needs money, and it is tax that is expected to bring in some of this money that government will use for these services. And for us, it is important that we begin to get it right now, especially as the year is coming to an end. All of this must come together to help the new budget coming from 2025 to be able to be robust, and we have enough funding that will be able to fund the budget instead of going again to borrow. I don't think that's the way to go. For us, like I said at the beginning, this current tax bill is pro-people, pro-small business, and we support it.
Well, I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Femi Egbeshola, for speaking to us, National President, Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.